do that, inshallah ta'ala. I have with us Sheikh Omar Hajaj, who is inshallah ta'ala joining us. Sheikh Omar Hajaj is known for his lecture series about leading a good life. And Sheikh Omar Hajaj is a youth leader, mashallah, tabarakallah. He's a youthful young imam. He would like to speak to him a little bit about how the life of Sheikh Yusuf Al-Qardawi can influence young people and how it should inspire young people in new generations of today. Subhanallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh Omar.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Habib Hisham. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, Sheikh, mashallah, tabarakallah. Jazakallah khairan for joining us here today. And we're speaking about the life and the legacy of the Sheikh Al-Imam Yusuf Al-Qardawi, Sheikhna. We're asking our mashayikh and our leaders and our imams, how did Sheikh Yusuf Al-Qardawi affect themselves? And also, how can Sheikh Yusuf Al-Qardawi, how can his legacy contribute to this ummah, continue contributing to this ummah, mashallah, tabarakallah. Please take it forth, inshallah.
First, I would like to say salam to our Sheikh Haytham, and we say alhamdulillah as-salam. I know he was traveling this week. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless him and reward him for his work. And I'm also not worthy of being invited in this discussion whilst we have the likes of Sheikh Haytham, Sheikh Nabil Awadi, Sheikh Yasir Al-Qadi. I'm someone who's probably 3 generations after the great Sheikh. He is a great Imam. He is regarded as a mujaddid, a mujtahid, an Imam. And he is someone that has affected the Ummah, subhanAllah. He has influenced the Ummah from practicing Muslims and non-practicing Muslims. He was someone that my father, rahimahullah, was very fond of. He used to read the book Al-Halal wal-Haram. And the previous generations have lots of respect for the Shaykh. And as we know from the ahadith, that the death of the ulama is a calamity, is a musibah that befalls in the ummah. Similar to, let's say, an earthquake or poverty, a death of an alim is a musibah. And the hadith explains, due to the risk of people being misguided, because scholars are the true leaders of the ummah. They are the ones who give guidance and leadership to the ummah. And we fear that the lack of ummah will lead to confusion, division, and lots of misguidance. So this is a very sad day. Yesterday was an extremely sad day to hear about the death of the great scholar who, like the Sheikh Haytham said, lived for around 100 years, lived for a whole century. He is probably the mufti of our era today. And what is unique about the Sheikh, what I personally love about the Sheikh, growing up, I used to feel like some of the scholars are not relevant to our current times or speaking about relevant contemporary issues. But the Sheikh used to always speak about contemporary issues, quoting traditional and orthodox sources, authentic sources, but he will bring light to all the modern and contemporary issues. But more so, the Sheikh in the last 50, 60 years was involved in the major incidents and the major events that took place in the Ummah. If it's the revolutions in the Middle East, all the way to 2011, the Arab Spring, the Sheikh always had some directions, always had some statements, always took a stance. And this is what we love about the Sheikh, that he took a stance, he had principles, he tried his best to bring peace, he tried his best to fulfill his role as an alim, as a leader, to bring unity, bring guidance to the Muslim Ummah. And Sheikh Haytham mentioned earlier that the Sheikh rejected positions. He was offered very senior positions. He was offered leadership positions to lead major Islamic movements or being in governmental positions. But he rejected that because of the conflict of interest. He rejected that because he wanted to stay independent as a scholar and protect his integrity, protect his independence to give guidance and directions to the Ummah. The Awam, we mentioned Sheikh Ibn Baz, Ibn Uthaymeen, rahimahullah, rahmatullah alayhim, and all of the scholars. Sheikh Yusuf Al-Qardawi was a scholar for all. He was a scholar for the Tullab Ilm, the scholars. He was a scholar for the academics, for the activists, for the politicians. You will see heads of states from the likes of President Erdogan to the likes of Emir Tamim, kissing his forehead seeking advice from him. And he was a scholar for the masses. Even those who are not practicing, they would quote the Sheikh, they would refer back to the Sheikh, and they would respect the Sheikh. And we can learn a lot from the Sheikh. And his akhlaq, his character, his dealings. This is what, inshallah ta'ala, we would want to push to our youngsters. We want our youth today, who are born in this country, who might not appreciate scholars as much as the previous generation. We want them to learn from the ulama, like Sheikh Yusuf Al-Qardawi. We want to, inshallah ta'ala, promote some of his main messages and teachings, such as unity, such as tolerance, and such as supporting important causes, in particular the Palestine cause, which he took a very strong stance on. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on him. We say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shed his maghfirah and rahmah upon our Shaykh and all of the deceased scholars. Allahumma ameen wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.
Jazakallahu khairan. That was the Sheikh Omar Al-Hajjaj from Yasin Youth, who is, mashallah ta'ala, joining us from Yasin Youth. And he's giving a youth perspective and his perspective on the life and the legacy of Imam Yusuf Al-Qardawi.